Customs and Border Protection officers have stopped this woman for a baggage search and discovered she has a rather unusual reason for her trip.
Yeah, the passenger claims to have visited her family in Vietnam, and at the same time she's also had some implants into her buttocks.
The woman says her boyfriend is a plastic surgeon and performed the operation in Vietnam.
You got no stitches? No stitches, just tape. No stitches? Yeah.
That's why I don't have time to stay there. I have to go back to Sydney too. Because it's, I sit there too long, 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's why I have to go back to Sydney to see doctor.
Okay.
Officers want to make sure she's not concealing any prohibited substances. A swab test is carried out on her luggage to check for any traces of narcotics. With a negative result, the passenger can repack her belongings, but she is not free to go.
From here, we'll just do a frisk search, see if she's carrying anything on her body.
After reading her rights in Vietnamese, she consents to a frisk search, which will be conducted by a female officer.
Now listen, do you have any injuries? Do you have any injuries on your body? Anything wrong with your body? Yeah. Is it sore? Sorry?
When you touch it, it's hard.
It's hard.
Hurt.
It hurt. Okay. Just be careful on the bottom area.
And
Hurts?
yeah. What have you got on here? Oh.
This Indian passenger has returned to Melbourne to continue his studies. He's on a student visa, but immigration has questions about its legality.
Our records indicate that the current student enrolment has been cancelled. If he hasn't studied, there's no need to hold that visa. It's breaching a condition of a student visa. So what is your purpose of coming to Australia today?
For studying.
Studying?
Yep.
Yeah, what are you studying?
Business of management.
Business management?
Yes.
Now, is this the only course that you've studied in Australia, or have you studied other things?
Firstly, I did complete my first certificate third in automotive. And now I'm doing business management.
Okay. Was the automotive course only 1 year course, or was it?
It's 2 years course. Like it's a diploma of automotive after that certificate 4. But I like to start business of management.
And when do you go back to school?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yes.
On a Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what days do you do your study?
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday?
Yes.
Now, do you have any evidence to show that you're actually studying at the moment? Because our records actually indicate that you are not currently enrolled in studies.
No, I'm doing study over there.
Yeah, because the information that we have from your course provider
Yes.
is that you have not attended.
No, I attended all classes.
You attended all classes?
Yes.
So why would they tell us that you're not studying if you are?
I don't know.
At Brisbane Airport, a detector dog has shown interest in an Egyptian passenger arriving from Dubai. This man has declared nothing on his incoming passenger card, so biosecurity officer Mia pulls him aside for a closer inspection.
Did you read the questions and understand them?
Yeah.
Is this your signature?
Yeah.
Is this your bag?
Yeah.
And you just have the other one bag?
Yeah.
Okay. You're fully aware what's in the bag?
Yeah, every single in the back for me.
Okay. And you had nothing to declare?
Yeah. No, go ahead. It's all.
That's correct? Nothing else to declare?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to check why the dog is chasing the bag. Okay. What is this?
Meat. Chicken.
So why did you not declare it on your card, sir?
Customs and Border Protection officers are carefully carrying out a frisk search on a passenger who says she has undergone a procedure in Vietnam to put implants in her buttocks.
Hurts?
Yeah.
But officers are concerned that she may be concealing narcotics.
You want on here? Oh, I need to hold my bum.
I don't know whether it's a bandage or not, but she says it's for, I think, for her surgery thing, but she's definitely got something around her waist.
Yeah,
I don't know what's in there.
So the girls have done a frisk search of her, and she's got some sort of bandage on her side. Seems a little bit unusual when she had an operation on her bum to have something up there. So the girls are going to have a look, see what it is. And after that, we'll have a chat to her in the room.
The passenger is taken into a private room so officers can determine if it is a bandage, as she claims, or something else.
Okay, what is this?
Meat, chicken.
So why did you not declare it on your card, sir?
I don't know. I tell him I have food. He writes his
This passenger is being questioned about some meat and chicken he's brought into the country, which he claims another officer told him he did not have to declare.
You've said no, I have no meat
Yeah,
on this card.
yeah. I say no, but I tell him I have food. I tell him to sign right.
Who are you talking about?
As the passenger tries to remember which officer he claims told him he didn't have to declare his food, Officer Mia continues the search.
Do you have anything else?
I have some cheese,
Okay, so when I asked you if you had anything else to declare, you said no.
maybe I don't
Why was
understand
that?
exactly. I'm not very good at English.
Okay. You said you understood the questions.
And then he reveals he has other food in his bag.
This cheese, right?
The feta cheese was made in Egypt, and it's a non-FMD approved country. This question asks about dairy.
Okay.
So you know you had
sign
cheese.
his now.
It's too late now. The dog has discovered it.
But it's not just chicken and cheese that this traveller has in his bag.
Okay, what are these?
Immigration is having a hard time believing this foreign student's story. He says he's completed one diploma and now he's studying business management, but there's no record of his enrolment.
Okay, so the diploma that you did, the automotive management, okay, again, we have information that you've dropped out of that course.
No, when I came from India, I joined Menzies Institute of Technology.
So you went from Menzies to...
Australian Industrial System Institute.
Okay, and that's where you completed your course. And then you've decided not to do automotive and you went to
Business management.
business management. And you go twice a week, every week.
Every week, yeah.
Okay, so what have you learnt while you've been there?
It's about business, how to start a business and how we can sell. It's all about business management.
Okay, so what have you learnt? What have they taught you?
To Kerry's surprise, he's unable to give any detailed response to her questions.
Do you go to school?
Yes, I go to school.
Tell me what you've learnt then.
I told you I learned.
No, you're just telling me basics. You're not telling me anything specific about what you have actually learnt while you've been studying. Okay, I'm going to see whether we can find anything that you have finished this course, because we don't have any record that you've even been to that school. So I'll be back. Okay.
If no evidence is found of this passenger's school records, he may be refused entry into Australia. And it's up to Kerry and her supervisor, Narelle, to determine his fate.
With the first diploma, he said that he actually completed that at another college, and he does have a certificate for that.
Okay, so he has done his certificate through automotive at a different provider.
Yep, he has.
Which he failed to inform us about.
He's now moved to this management, then he will move on to the certificate 4, or the diploma.
I'm still not convinced he's studying.
But with no records to show that he's currently studying, officers may have one other option to find out the truth.
He's had someone trying to call him already.
They're waiting out the front for him.
Who's waiting out the front?
His friend.
Well, why don't we go have a chat to them and find out what they can tell us about his activities. See what he can tell us.
Following an inconclusive Frisk search, this woman returning from Vietnam is taken into a private room for further examination.
There seems to be some anomalies around her midriff. She's had buttocks surgery. She's had implants put in her buttocks while she's been away. So they'll take her to the room and just get her to reveal what she might have there.
But it seems all that is there is underwear.
They're really like elasticized and keeping it in, and you can feel the implants.
So there's no padding on the
It's all like.
It's like a compression.
Like a compression stocking, but too comfortable in.
So it's not thick?
No, it's not thick. No, it's quite thin.
Okay.
The passenger is wearing elastic support pants, which officers believe are not concealing any narcotics. But when the woman is questioned further on her travel movements, Officer Lee becomes increasingly suspicious.
She's very vague about her travel. We had a feeling she left with somebody. She couldn't name that person that she left with, and then suddenly she realised that she left with someone. But coincidentally, she just happened to be on that same flight. She knew her, but didn't know her that well. So a bit of inconsistencies in her story. She didn't know how many times she'd actually travelled this year. She's in fact travelled 4 times in 6 months to Vietnam, and she's trying to hide something, we feel.
Officers will now step up their investigation.
I'm going to detain her for an internal body scan. It's a non-medical operation that's done here at the airport.
The internal body scan will reveal if the passenger is bringing back more than just silicone buttock implants inside her body.
You've said no, I have no meat.
An Egyptian student returning to Australia has been found to be carrying high-risk foods that he has not declared.
Okay, what are these?
Huh? Egyptian food.
Okay, what is it made of? Do you know? Is it homemade or did you buy them?
No, homemade.
When I looked into another part of the bag, I found some baked goods that the gentleman had not declared and some fresh apples. Okay, so
And the list goes on.
Number 7, grains, seeds, and timber with bark on it. Those items all have to be seized. You need to declare these things so when you're asked...
I tell you,
Australia has strict importing conditions on food to stop the spread of unwanted disease. And not declaring food can have dire consequences.
So I need to speak with my supervisor now that we've checked all of the bag and to see what penalties apply, because some of these goods are prohibited, some of them just need to be inspected and can be released. So we need to sort all that out. All right, just wait here one moment, please.
The passenger has 3 prohibited items, which Officer Mia will discuss with the supervisor.
I was asked the elements and answers were all yes. Yes. And has 800 grams of apples, 750 grams.
For the undeclared importation of meat, cheese and apples, the man is to be issued with a $340 fine.
And the quantities certainly are sufficient for that.
Yeah.
But Officer Mia still has concerns about the passenger's unusual claim about an unidentified officer.
That he didn't have to check it off. But when I asked him the elements, he said he had nothing else to declare.
If you've asked him all the questions and he hasn't told you about that product, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because there's no way customs would say don't declare meat.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Now, these items are prohibited. So today, for not declaring correctly on your card, you'll be receiving a penalty.
Penalty for what? I tell your friend, everyone, I meet him, I tell him I have food. Huh?
When I asked you, did you understand
I understand,
the
yeah, but not 100%.
But the man is convinced he's done nothing wrong, and this argument is just getting started.
Hi, how are you? My name's Kerry. You're waiting for Gurpreet today. Can you just tell me why he's come to Australia? He's a student. Where does he study?
Officer Kerry is hoping to confirm the story of this passenger. His friend has been waiting patiently for him in the arrivals hall.
He's doing automotive.
Automotive?
Yeah, diploma of automotive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long has he been here?
Approximately more than 1.5 years.
1.5 years. And he's been studying the whole time?
Yeah, is there anything wrong?
No, we were just checking today as to why he was coming, so that's why I was just confirming with you. So thank you very much for that.
No worries.
The man's story seems to check out, and now immigration has made a decision about his future and will inform the passenger.
Right, today we've decided that we will immigration clear you. I will let you know that your file will be forwarded to our student area to look at your file. They'll be contacting your college to confirm that you are actually studying.
Okay.
Okay.
Two friends this sheet.
So today?
An Egyptian man has claimed that a customs officer told him he didn't have to declare food in his baggage, and he's not happy when he is issued with a penalty.
Penalty for what? I tell your friend, everyone, I meet him, I tell him I have food. Why is he right okay?
You don't have food. You said no.
Why is he right okay? Okay for what?
Q, K, quarantine, K9.
He claims he thought the Q and K written on his card by customs was actually the word OK, when in fact it stood for quarantine and K9.
But you said you understood.
Huh?
When I asked you, did you understand
I understand,
the
yeah, but not 100%. Not 100%.
One moment, I'll get my supervisor.
Supervisor Andrea is now called in.
Why is he okay? I tell him he right okay.
Who did you tell?
Who's right okay? I tell him I have food, he right okay.
Why did you say no?
Because I not understand 100% all English.
So when this officer asked you if you understand the card, you said yes.
But the passenger is about to reveal a little more about his true intentions.
I tell you I have food, but I don't have no time to change this one. I want to change this one outside, but I don't have time to change to right because I want to go to...
So you've made a false declaration in order to come into Australia faster, in order to meet your next plane.
I understand.
Well,
I don't
you're
know
now
I'm
telling
wrong
me,
in
so
something.
if you understand, then you have made a false written declaration and today you'll be fined $340.
Huh?
$340 you must pay.
Why 300?
Because that is the fine.
Even though he admits he was trying to get through customs quickly to meet a connecting flight, he still believes he has done no wrong.
Listen, fine for what? I have food.
The fine for providing a false...
Fine for what?
A false written declaration on an incoming passenger card to a quarantine officer.
So we need you to read this, sir. You have a choice today. Pay the penalty or to take the matter to court. If you'd like to read through this.
So what you need to know is if you decide to go to court and you're found guilty, you must pay the court fees.
Court.
The court fees are generally about $5,000. And it may be up to $66,000 the penalty. You'll go to court?
Yeah.
This passenger has just undergone an internal body scan carried out by Customs and Border Protection to try and determine if she is carrying narcotics internally.
We've got the results from the body scan. It's inconclusive at the moment. There seems to be something there. We're not 100% sure what it is. At this point, we will refer her for an internal examination at the hospital.
The Australian Federal Police arrived to escort the passenger to the hospital, so a more detailed internal examination can be carried out.
I spoke to her and said, we believe you might have something inside your stomach, and if you do have something, it could break, and that could be dangerous for you. You could die from drugs breaking inside your stomach. She doesn't seem worried, she doesn't seem to care about that. She's very cool, calm and collected.
What you need need to know is if you decide to go to court and you're found guilty, you must pay the court fees.
Yeah, court.
The court fees are generally about $5,000 and it may be up to $66,000 the penalty.
I go court.
You'll go to court?
Yeah.
At Brisbane Airport, this passenger has decided to go to court rather than pay a fine of $340. Biosecurity officers need to be sure he understands the consequences. So Duty Manager Carl now steps in.
But be aware that if you do go to court, you can face heavier fines and also a criminal conviction. Okay, so you're aware of that? Okay.
Undeterred, the man tells his story again to Officer Carl about the mystery officer marking his card.
He say it's okay, go this way.
Officer Carl needs to make sure that the passenger's statement is looked into. And he goes in search of the officer.
Talking about the gentleman in the blue shirt?
With no luck there, he locates another officer that stamped the back of his card.
Didn't tell you that he had food?
Wouldn't kick you.
And finally, some clarity.
So I've spoken to the officer that stamped the back of your card.
Yeah.
He said that you didn't tell him that you had food.
I am sure, I 100%. I tell him I have food, he tell me go.
The gentleman who stamped the back of your card, he's one of our officers, works for our department. He said you did not tell him that you had food. If you had told him that you would have food, he would have marked the card differently. So we will issue with an infringement notice today, okay, which is going to be the $340. This is it here. This is the information about it. Now, I've gone back and I've checked with the people that I had to, with the information that you gave me. They haven't given me the same information, so I need to uphold this. You need to take into account the information that I provided you earlier about higher penalties. The decision is going to be yours.
No, go to court. This is my choice.
You want to go to court? Okay.
Yeah.
The passenger today is being issued a 2 quin penalty unit fine, which is $340 Australian dollars, but he does have the option to take the matter to court, and that is what this passenger is choosing to do.
Okay.
So, with the paperwork signed, the passenger is now free to get his connecting flight. Officer Mia now takes the seized goods to the deconstruction room, where they are stored for evidence.
We have held and seized the goods, and now the matter will be handed over to our investigations unit, and they'll provide further advice.